that in the peak, the samsara is on the peak of the needle. You cannot experience the true happiness. There will be always some degree of poking. So that's why we are, even though we think that if I'm happy, but all of a sudden it changes. So this is called the samsara. And Western way says samsara sucks. But this is why that we have the equal balance to apply, to be a spiritual person, to prepare. Even in the worst situation also, I can stay in balance. That's why we have the opportunity right now. So that's what we see. Okay, we'll start with this first. I want to start with the short prayers first. Set of the motivations, and then altruistic motivations, because we're going to do meditations on compassion. So that's why I want you to set up the motivation first. Boy, Chomden de Dejin Sheba, Dachomba, Yanda, Zobe, Sanje, Riba, Dan Shabzo, Demba, Dewa, Sheba, Jiden, Kemba, Gibo, Deve, Kalo, Juba, Lana, Meba, Lada, Menam, Demba, Sanje, Chomden de Begewa, Shasha, Toba, La Jazilo, Chedo, Jabzo, Che, Manam Kata Nyembe Semche Tamche Lama Sanje Chigi Kula Jabso Jo Lama Lonje Zibe Kula Jabso Jo Lama Duje Tibe Kula Jabso Jo Lama Sanje Rimboche La Jabso Jo Semche Tam Chigi Lo Shisu Jowa Jinge Labdo Se Che Lamdo Lowa Jinge Labdo Se Lam Jiba Sewa Jinge Labdo Se Jiba Ishisu Jowa Jinge Labdo Se Zawa Lama Kiba Dan Jeba Nam La Jabsu Jo Chido Chizu Dan Jeba Nam La Jabsu Jo Nige Jadan Bada Lama Zola Jabsu Jo Nansen Bada Lama Zola Jabsu Jo Tobe Da Dewa Jinge Labdo Se Toje Shen Dewa Jinge Labdo Se Dene Dala Keba Jinge Labdo Se Densa Denda Demba Jinge Labdo Se Chaja Chembo Choki Nido Se Denye La Toba Jinge Labdo Se Sanje Chodan Sogi Chonam La Janju Bardo Dane Jabzuje Dage Jujin Gibe Chonam Gidola Penje Sanje Bara Eshu Semje Tamje Dewa Dan Deve Judan Dembar Juje Semje Tamje Dungel Dan Dungye Ge Judan Dewa Juje Semje Tamje Dungye Mebe Dewa Dan Me Dewa Juje Semje Tamje Nere Chada Nidan Deve Ta Nyamla Nebra Juro Echi Male Semje Kinge Genjuje Da Panje Mezzo Jumzella, Mwana Male, and the Kinjurbe, Tom de Wajane, the Shadow, Combo de Nijavale, Dajasanam Giwaden. The new donation to the Umgurusa, Tegarama, Aragam, that is a so hard, Tambazam Gene, Ranam Kingi, Kizetarala, Janada, Baye, the Jendagi, Kudus, Umgurusa, Rakata, Mahapande, but is a so Dandrola to the Chireni, to the Jabata again. This is a jump then should so say, Guru Daposuda Masuda, Moshe, Gitivale, Juwajina, Zawai, Naso Chidin, Jasoche, Daje, Lumai, Sum Loje, to Sum Gesoche, Rinjen Mendes, Sampo, Kunza Chivetso, Jeba, Loya Lania, Lamaidam, Conjo Sulabi, Toje Wangeshin and Ala Jingle Labdo, Zea, Hare, Rave, Corvation, and Pendant, Male Juvene, Cherezuma, Tenzin Jasui. Shabe Side Bardo Denguro Echi Yedam Guru Rena Mendela Kanaya Daya Mea Gange Duzini Zuni Da Kanje Bambeje Tambeje Netenze Kotam de la Jazelu Kinke Magi Kudu Kanzo Sangi Ulaji Puji Chenrezig So, first of all, who has received the empowerment on Chenrezig, the Buddha of Compassion? Buddha of Compassion, or who recite Om Mane Padme Hum?
Oh, yeah.
So I want those who haven't received, I want to give you the oral transmission of this mantra, so that you can recite this mantra along with the visualization. So please repeat after me. So I want you to repeat after me the 6-syllable mantra. Om, Mane, Padme Hum. Om, Mane, Padme Hum. Om, Mane, Padme Hum. Normally, like if you want to recite the mantra, it's important to receive the transmission at least. So that's why. So before we practice about these, the Buddha of Compassion or Chenrezig, in Tibetan, Chenrezig means, Chen means eyes, Re means without blinking, Zig means watching, without blinking their eyes and looking at towards all the sentient beings. That means they don't want to miss any sentient beings in the absence of blinking their eyes. That's the meaning of, like, the compassion means they don't want to miss, they want to serve others. Now, in order to practice, that's why, like, I feel like when you meditate, you can apply in any form, but based on compassion, I would like to explain. To practice, firstly, your motivation. There are 3 things. Let's go with first 3 things. If you want to meditate properly, you have to have 3 things important. The first one is called the motivations. The second one is the proper actions. And third one is called the proper dedications. So these 3 things, if it is not complete in your meditation, that means you are making a like a print, and you are erasing yourself by your own, like a broom. So that's why, like, these 3 things, the motivations, the actions, and the dedications. So now, out of these 3, let's go to first one, the proper motivations. So proper motivation also, now, I have to explain a little bit briefly about this proper motivation. There are 3 different kind of motivation in first one. Out of this, the first one has 3 different kind of motivation. The least motivation, the medium motivation, and the highest motivations. So least motivation means by meditating or practicing 6 perfection, the generosity or morality or patience or enthusiasm, concentration, and wisdom. These are called 6 perfection. Meditation is on the 5th level, the concentration. So when you are practicing any one of the 6 perfections, but your motivation is just to have better rebirth, by practicing the Buddha of Compassion or meditation, that I want to have a better rebirth. That means that is called the least motivations. The medium motivation is by practicing on Buddha of Compassion or Chenrezig, that I want to get out from this samsara. and achieve the liberation or self-realization. We call nirvana also, self-realization in English, or you can want to get out from the cyclic existence of samsara. With these concern, if you are practicing, that is medium motivations. And the highest motivation is, I want to achieve the full enlightenment for the welfare of all the mother sentient beings and environment. Then that is called the highest motivations. So now, if your motivation or your practice with the motivation, but none of these three motivation are included in your practice, no matter how high you're practicing, how deep you're practicing, but if your motivation is none of this, then we are not spiritual actually. That means if my practice is only for my own benefit for this life, that means only to benefit this life, that I want to be happy, I want to be successful, I want to have health and wealth and positions and power. With these motivation, if you practice, we don't call this one as a spiritual practitioner. We call them as a business. And also why we don't call as a spiritual practitioner? Because in order to fulfill something for this life, you don't have to rely on spiritual practice. That's why non-spiritual practitioners are more successful in making their life or living in this life. That's why non-spiritual are more rich or powerful. So we don't have to rely on that. That means if you consider it as a spiritual person, you have to look beyond. So that means at least higher rebirth, or to get out from the samsara, or to achieve full enlightenment. So with these concerns you practice, then you consider as a spiritual practitioner. So now with these, so out of these all three, I encourage to motivate for the highest motivation, to benefit all sentient beings. Because this practice only will justify with this highest motivation. So highest motivation. Now the proper action out of setting up the proper motivation, the proper actions are the one we normally call based on any one of the 6 perfections. 6 perfection is, the first one is called the perfections of generosity, perfections of morality, the perfections of patience and tolerance, perfections of enthusiastic perseverance, and the perfections of concentration and perfections of wisdom. These are the proper action we call. At our monastery, it takes 5 years to study this 6 perfections, 5 years to study. I have to talk in 1 hour. So these are the proper actions now. And then with these proper actions, the final part is called dedication, right? So the dedication is depend on how you have motivated at the beginning. If you have motivation is for the welfare of all the sentient beings, you dedicate on behalf of all sentient beings. So that's all. So most of us, we may have some degree of proper motivation and proper actions, mostly definitely proper actions, but we fail in dedication. We never do dedication at the end. Even though like we meditate whole days like that, and at the end of the day we ask how much you did, how much you recited. I recited so much. Oh, I have recited more than you. My ego boosts up. So the moment that after doing such a wonderful actions or practice, then my ego will burn away my good karma or merit. If my anger starts, this will burn away. Even the desire will start, desire will burn away. These are the delusions we call the poison. Ignorance, anger or hatred, desire and attachment or greediness. Those when we arise, immediately after that burns away all the good action that we have done. So that's why it's like a fire to burn away all the good karma. So this is one of the reasons that even though we try to practice and meditate, do good things, but we never feel the positive impact of realization or transformation. It's all because of we never dedicate properly. So these are things that you have to be mindful when you practice any form of six perfection, even when you do generosity also. So these are things that you, but once you have this altruistic motivation, if your intention is to benefit all sentient beings, your motivation is the highest motivation, then even when you do generosity, for example, even if you do one small grain of generosity, that will help you to accumulate the countless meritorious imprint, because your intention is to benefit all sentient beings. Just one small grain of generosity can accumulate the huge amount of merit. But if I have only one, my own achievement, just to achieve higher rebirth, then one may be doing the huge amount of generosity also. This merit is just one. Just one. That is the difference between. That's why, it's like when you plant one seed, 1,000 fruits will grow. If you cut down, same thing opposite. It will kill all 1,000 fruits one time. So that's why when you have the altruistic motivation, means with one good action, small good action, can ripen into the countless fruits. So these are the things that when you practice, set up the motivations. So now, meditations, when we do meditation, maybe I will go with some story about how important it is. Even though when we recite the mantra, when you recite the mantra also, sometimes it's not necessary the whether your pronunciation is right or your sound is right or wrong. It doesn't matter actually. But your motivation, your intention, your proper actions and dedication is very important. But sound and then how you recite or even mispronunciation is okay. So the reason, this is there's one story in Tibet. There was a young friend, childhood friend. When they were young, both of them best friend. And then one of them want to study, want to go to the great monastic university to study Buddhist philosophy. The other friend want to meditate since very young age. So the other friend who stays in the simple, humble, the rigid house, and one goes to the western Tibet to study. So the other friend who want to study become one of the well-learned, famous, thousands of disciples. He become one of the well-known master. But the other friend who just want to meditate based on the 6-syllable compassion mantra. And after meditating, and then it's time goes by, so maybe after 40 years or 50 years after, then this learned master misses his friend, childhood friend. So he want to visit him and see how is he doing. So now this friend who been meditating, he was meditating in one of the small island in the middle of the lake, because in Tibet there's no ocean. So he was meditating in the small island in the middle of the lake. So that time there's no boat also, so he has to use the leather boat, the boat made out of leather, the yak's leather actually. And then, so he sailed through this lake towards the island. So, but he wanted to give a surprise visit. So he was sneaking slowly from behind, and then he parked this boat on the side, and then he was sneaking from behind. And his house in a small island with stones, pile of stones, and a small hut, a small stone house. And he was sincerely meditating. He was sneaking through behind and watching what is he doing. So he was sincerely reciting the mantra and meditating. And then he saw and he heard that all the mantra he was reciting with all the wrong pronunciations, because he never studied. So he was reciting the mantra with wrong pronunciations. But so he is a learned master now. He knows everything about how to pronounce this properly. So, but he couldn't dare to say. So then after that, when they met each other, they were so happy to meet each other. They have food and then tea. They discuss about that how famous he is from the eastern part of Tibet. He has thousands of disciples. He has studied this. So he explained about this. But the poor hermit has nothing to say because whole life has been meditating with this simple practice, is meditating. But this master it was irritating for him because he know that his friend is reciting this mantra in a very wrong pronunciations, but he won't dare to say. But it was irritating for him that it's not the right way to recite. So after they have food and tea, and then when he was about to leave the island, so he climbed on the leather boat, and just before he sailed, he said to his friend, my friend, the mantra you are reciting is not the right way. You are reciting in a wrong pronunciation. He just said like that, and sailed through the lake. So the learned master was sailing and using this whatever they do to sail to us. So when this master was just in between the island and the mainland, just in between, this hermit walked over the water and humbly asked, how can I recite this mantra? And then said, oh, no, whatever you're reciting, you're fine. You're doing good. So that means that shows that when you recite, you don't worry about whether right pronunciations or not, but your intention, your motivations, your actions, and your dedication has to be right. So that is why it shows about pronunciation, because you're American sound, we are Tibetan sound, so Indian sound, so sound will change differently, pronunciation will change, but the intention never change. So these are the things that you have to be mindful about when you practice. So now, three things we have already explained now. Keep it in mind. Now, when we meditate, especially there is higher form of the Buddha compassion. Normally we call that if you want to fly, for example, you need the union of two wings, right? Union of two wings, then you can fly. That means if you want to achieve the enlightenment, then you need the union of two wings. That means the right side is to represent the method realizing compassions. Left wing represent the wisdom realizing emptiness. These compassion and emptiness are your two wings to fly away from the ocean of samsara to achieve realization. If you miss any one of this, you are handicapped. That means you can't achieve anything. You may achieve, but you won't realize there's something missing in your practice. So, wisdom realizing emptiness, and then method realizing compassion. These two are the two wings. We union of two wings to help you to fly through the ocean of samsara to achieve the enlightenment. So these are important. And now how you can use this one in your practice. For example, now you're using the sixth syllable mantra with the compassion. When you use this one, firstly, you have to set up the motivation. That's why I told you from the very beginning, your motivation has to be altruistic motivation. Even when you practice emptiness also, before you practice emptiness, you have to have the altruistic motivations, because there will be danger if you just practice emptiness without having the altruistic motivation. There will be danger in falling into the wrong view. So that's why very important, before you want to meditate on emptiness, must have the altruistic motivation. Even though there are lots of story why it happens, we don't want to go there. So now, So we already set up the motivation for the welfare of all the sentient beings. And then wisdom realizing emptiness, why it is important now. Why? If we check in our day-to-day life, all the problem, all this violence and everything that's happening around us is because of the misconception, the wrong view, because of believing that these are the things that if I have, I'll be happier. These are the things if I have, I will be happier. Believing that these are the true source of happiness. Believing that. That's why we are craving into achieving that, believing that this will make me happier. That means whatever we're conceiving and perceiving things is because of the deluded mind. Deluded mind. So the more you see through the wisdom eye, then anything you perceive is we call the illusions. It doesn't exist of its own actually. Nothing exists of its own actually. In reality, it's all empty. Like for example, forget about other things. If you apply to oneself, myself, this is me, Geshe Phuntsho, overall. But if I try to analyze, pinpoint my part, if I display my leather and bones and organs and blood and fluid and display on the floor, and try to pinpoint which part of this is me, which part? None of this is me actually. All these parts and particles and everything you push into the leather bag and you label it Geshe Phuntsho. Otherwise it never existed also. Now I may say, oh, my mind is me, my mind and my consciousness. That also not me. It is clearly, we'll know that in case, like this body is not me, you will know that in case that I have the power to change the better body, I think I'm willing to change with my better body. I want to give this old, falling off body to get the better body. That shows this body is not me. So as my mind is not me, because if I have the chance and power to change my intelligent mind with somebody intelligent mind with my dummy mind, I think I'm willing to change my dummy mind with the most intelligent mind. So that shows that this mind is not me. But because we have been, since from the very young age, we have been trained, this is you have to survive, you have to be strong, you have to keep it warm. So it's been training like that, and as if that this become one entity called me, I, or like that. But it never exists of its own. So that's why to see the clearance of this, about details about that, only by understanding about the wisdom realizing emptiness will help us to see those reality. That's why practicing on emptiness is important. This will help us to not to be drawn away too much. Yes, we need for some degree to survive, but not to that extent that my whole life is wasted on that, and at the end we have to leave everything behind and then go away. So that's the reason that wisdom realizing emptiness is important for that reason. And then compassion. Without compassion, there's no way we are going to achieve enlightenment. Compassion is important. Without compassion, we will never achieve enlightenment. So that means sentient beings are equally important also, and divine beings are equally important for us. Both are important for me if I want to practice compassion also. So these are the certain, like in short, there are more to be explained on that, but in short. And sometimes maybe it seems like it's important to explain why that I want to practice compassion. Why? You have to give a reason, because if you don't know the reason about why I want to practice compassion, then our practice towards the compassion will be never strong enough. So try to find the reason why. So that's why one of the reasons that why we want to practice compassion is like For example, in Buddhist ways, there's so many different ways. Understanding about the law of cause and effect, how every sentient beings are born as being my mother, and every mother sentient beings are kind to me. So repay the kindness. That way, it is kind of you have to understand about the death, the rebirth, and so on. And that can be more complicated because we never grew up here in a modern world. We never were introduced about those the death and rebirth. And so the best way to help you to understand about why I have to practice compassion is see as like everything is a gratitude, kindness view, point of view. If you look at the surrounding, like for example, if I pinpoint to myself how I am surviving, for example, how I am alive. If I check, then see that I am 100% depending on others. Without depending on others, I won't survive. That means the hall we are gathered, we didn't build a house. It's because of the somebody, kindness of somebody who built the hall. That's why we are gathered here. So those who have built the hall are kind to me. And then food that I'm eating, I didn't grow the food. It's because of the kindness of somebody who grew the food are kind to me. The clothes that I'm wearing, I didn't make these clothes. It's because of the kindness of somebody who made the clothes. That's why I'm wearing. They are kind to me. So look at if the electricity or the car, the road, and if you see anything around this is kind to me. Even the earth or air or wind or the heat or those things, without them I cannot survive. They are kind to me. And then so if you look at this point of view, everything around me is kind to me. Now if I say, oh, there is somebody who is drive me crazy, make me angry and try to do all kind of things, bad thing to me. But if you look at it in a positive way, actually those who are trying to make you crazy are the most kind to you, giving you the opportunity to practice patience and tolerance. That's what is. And then the beggars are kind to me because they are giving me an opportunity to practice generosity. The Buddhas, the God, and the angel are kind to me, trying to show me the right ways to do positive things. So everything around me is so kind to me. Then how can I say only about me? Because I'm 100% surviving because of the kindness of everything around me. Then I cannot say just me. Because if we see, like if you check, if even the air is trying to stop you giving the oxygen to you, we won't survive. If the space is no space, we won't survive. If farmer stop growing, it won't survive. Everything, the water, without them we cannot survive. So anything around me is so kind to me. So I cannot say, oh, I want this, I need this. So while I'm surviving because of the kindness of somebody, that's the reason that, okay, so beside knowing everything is so kind to me and still think of my own selfish motivation, that person becomes the most tiniest being. Because you know everything and still think about my own benefit. So that's why now if I know, then I want to repay the kindness. I want to repay the kindness. So even though sometimes our biggest problem is, that's why the me, self-cherishing attitude, as if that I have existed out of nowhere, as if that me, this is our huge pride, ego. But if you go back to the origin, how we started from the small tiny drops and then when we conceive in the mother's womb, doesn't mean we just grew up. The moment we are born doesn't mean we just grew up. It shows that so much nourishment, so many love and care, protections and education. That's why we are here in this position. So that's no way that this is me and I or like that. It's all because of the kindness of like our parents. That's why we are here. So that's why that we cannot say this is me, I did it, all these things. So sometimes this is a problem. And we forget about repay the kindness. Sometimes I often refer, like for example, how we misunderstand. Like if somebody, for example, who you never met before or never even heard before, if that strange person give you a 1 cup of coffee or tea, for example, we have every word to express, oh, thank you, you're so kind, you're so generous. And then when we go back home also, we will say, wow, I met a strange person. He or she was so kind to me, give me a cup of tea or coffee. But if that strange person deserves so much appreciation because of 1 cup of coffee or tea, then how many cups of coffee, tea, food we receive from our parents? The air, the water, the earth, everything, the whole life we have been using this one, but we never think that way. So how that if the strange person deserves so much appreciation because of 1 cup of coffee or tea, then these mother natures, the parents, the farmers, everything deserve more. Because the 1 piece of apple, it may be growing somewhere in the other side of the world, maybe New Zealand or China or India or Australia, and that one just to grow 1 apple, it doesn't mean the moment you buy means it's in a store. If we know apple how it grows, it starts from 1 seed. Doesn't mean the moment you plant it will just grow. How many years it will take to become 1 tree and to get the fruits? And by the time when they're growing, how many insects has to be killed? So just to have a 1 good apple also, it takes 4 or 5 years to have this apple. So that means I have no right to eat half and throw half lavishly. We are misusing the resources. So that's why like appreciation and knowing the kindness of other thing is, that's why if we see like that, then it will make sense then that I am only surviving because of the kindness of all these living beings around me. Then I cannot be selfish. I want to do something to repay the kindness. So if I want to repay the kindness, now I have to see the reason, find the reason. How can I repay the kindness? So if I want to see, then I will look at myself that what is my wish now? What is my wish? So normally we call, as in the Buddhist philosophy, we only have 2 wishes. We only have 2 wishes. Whether the richest or the poorest, the oldest or the youngest, or the biggest animal to the tiniest insects, we all have only 2 wishes actually. We may think we have zillions of wishes. Actually, we only have 2 wishes. And those 2 wishes are, we don't want suffering, we want happiness. So that means whatever we're doing right now, meditations or working or all kind of things, business or anything we are killing or stealing or lying or destroying, all we are doing just to fulfill these 2. I want to be happy. I don't want suffering. These are the 2 common wishes. Even the most tiniest insects also trying to do their best to survive, want to have a piece of life. That's what, this is the common wishes for everybody. But for us, if we don't know, to fulfill these wishes, that's why our action is all negative. We want to be happy, but for the happiness of myself, I don't care about even if I destroy this Mother Earth, if I kill somebody also, if I do harm to these others also, I don't care as long as I am achieving something to bring me peace of mind and happiness. Then I started doing all kind of negative things. Yes, we have a good intention, but to fulfill this intention is all negative. That's why we are destroying this Mother Nature, exhausting the resources, all the pollutions are happening because we want to be happy, but not unknowingly, ignorantly, we are killing this Mother Earth, killing the neighborhood, making the enemies between each other. Because as long as I'm happy, I don't care. That's why, even though that we are only surviving because of the kindness of others also, we don't see that way. So these are all logic actually. So these are after knowing that, oh, every sentient beings are kind to me. All these Mother Natures are kind to me. How can I say just only about my own achievement, my own happiness? I want to repay the kindness. So that's why that the only way to repay the kindness is by practicing compassion. So compassion means when you're willingly or wishing or actively engaging into action to overcome the sufferings of all these sentient beings and healing this Mother Earth and Mother Nature is called the compassion. So if you practice compassion, your happiness will obviously will come together. It's called love and compassion. The love will come. Love means you want everyone to be happy, peaceful. So if you practice compassion, love will come by itself. But if you don't practice compassion, only wishing for love, it won't happen. If I have already a problem and suffering from my pain, then you want to be happy? No way. So that's why the love and compassion or compassion is important. So knowing that, okay, now I have to practice compassion to benefit all sentient beings because every sentient beings and environment are kind to me. I have to practice. That's why one of the most easy way to practice is, that's why Buddha compassion, the Chenrezig we call, or the Buddha compassion plays the role in that. That's why you call the Buddha compassion or Chenrezig is the embodiment of all the compassion to help us to focus and so that I can work on that practice. That's why we use this purpose. So now let's begin now seriously now. Now start with the main subject. So when I recite the prayers of emptiness, I want you to see and dissolve like all these phenomena, like because true nature, we all have Buddha nature, right? We all have a Buddha nature means Buddha nature has no color, dark blue, or we call the nature of emptiness. That's why like we all doesn't exist of its own, only it's existing because of the imprints of our own action. All the actions are all not healthy action. That's why we believe that we are existing. But in reality, we all are true nature of emptiness. So that's why when I recite the prayers of emptiness, at the time, slowly visualize that all these surrounding dissolve into emptiness called the dark blue space, and then your body also dissolve into dark blue space, and your consciousness also dissolve, mind also dissolve into dark blue space, and then try to stay in the glimpse of that dark blue space where there's no form, no consciousness, no universe, just dark blue space, and stay in the glimpse for some time, and then followed by that I will try to help you to visualize and practice compassion. Om Sabhava Shuddha Sarva Dhamma Sabhava Shuddho Ham Om Shu Neta Bhaja Sabhava Yamago Ham Randa Chutam Chutomba Nidu. And then slowly, in the middle of the dark blue space, visualize that from every direction, like a small glimpses of lights are shining and gathering like in front of you, like almost an inch of radiant white light. And that one, if you see clearly, that is the seeds of compassion called free. But if you see overall, it's a radiant white light in the middle of the space in front of you, and that light is shining from every direction and then creating that radiant white light. Try to visualize slowly. And then you try to recite the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum silently together. And when you recite silently, then visualize this radiant white light in front of you, slowly transforming into the lotus flower. And after transforming into lotus flower, on top of a lotus flower is the white bright moon cushions. On top of a moon cushion is even in the heart of this moon cushion, you can still see the radiant white light shining brilliantly. Recite the mantra silently and visualize like that. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. And then again, when after visualizing like that, and again when we recite the mantra together, then this radiant white light in the heart of the moon cushions grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually transform into the Buddha of compassion, which is one face and four arms sitting in the Vajra or the diamond positions, with first two arms are holding the palms together in the heart, in between the two palms holding the wish-fulfilling jewels that shines the light through the fingers, emanating a light. And then the second right hand is holding the crystal rosary over the right shoulder, and the second left hand holding the lotus stems and lotus blooming over the left shoulder, with fully bloomed, half bloom, about to bloom over the left shoulder, to represent the Buddha of compassion of the past, present and future. And the dress that the Buddha of compassion is wearing is the heavenly dress with all the precious jewels and ornaments. And this Buddha of compassion that you are visualizing is not contaminated, it's pure, radiant, celestial, multi-dimension, uncontaminated, emanating light towards all the directions. Visualize as clear as you can. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. After visualizing this Buddha compassion in front of you as clear as you can, and then together with again surrounding the whole space, visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and meditational deity, gods and goddesses and angels, like a shining like a stars around the whole universe, like all the divine being, enlightened beings surrounding the whole space, shining like a stars. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, meditational deity, the gods and goddesses and angels are shining brilliantly throughout the whole space. Om Mani Padme, 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 Om. So now, like when we recite the mantra together, visualize from the Buddha of compassion in front of you, and shining the white light and shining towards you, even from all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and meditational deity, gods and goddesses and angels throughout the whole space, also shining zillions and zillions of white light shining towards you and dissolving into your body. When it dissolves, this radiant white light dissolves into your body. The moment the light dissolves, visualize it immediately purify all the negativities that one has engaged through your body, is the killing, stealing and misconduct. And then eventually you're like purifying all the negativities that engage through the body, and then your whole body transforms into a radiant, celestial, white body, radiant body. So this is the first part that you visualize when you recite the mantra together. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. mane padme hum. Om mane padme hum. Om mane padme hum. You continuously recite the mantra silently, and again when we recite the mantra together, then visualize from the throat of Buddha compassion the red light shine towards you and dissolving into your throat. Even visualize together with from all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and meditational deity, gods and goddesses throughout the whole universe also, the reddish light shining out from the throat of all the divine being and dissolving into your throat. The moment it dissolves this reddish light, it immediately purifies the negativities that one is engaged through your speech, which is lying, slander, harsh word, and idle gossiping, or any negative action relating through the speech. Purify and receiving the blessings of the enlightened speech of the Buddha compassion and all the divine being from the whole universe. You receive the blessings of the enlightened speech. So visualize like that. Om mane padme hum. 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 Continuously recite the mantra silently, and again when we recite the mantra together, visualize from this the Buddha of compassion in front of you, the bluish light shine from the heart and dissolving into your heart, and then also from the light, bluish light shine out from the heart of all the divine being from the whole universe also. Zillions of bluish light shine and dissolving into your heart. The moment it dissolves into your heart, it immediately purifies all the negative actions that one is engaged through the mind, which is the covetousness, intention to harm others, and the wrong view, and receiving the blessings of the enlightened mind of the Buddha compassion and all the divine beings from the whole universe. Visualize like that. Om mane padme hum. 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 Continuously recite the mantra silently, and when we recite the mantra together, visualize now the three light shines from the Buddha compassion, the white, the red, and the bluish light shine, and also from all the divine being from the whole universe also, the white, the red, and the blue light shines towards you, and dissolving into your body, speech, and mind all together in every part of your body, purifying the negativities of your body, speech, and mind, and then transforming your whole body, speech, and mind into pure, radiant body, speech, and mind. So visualize like that when three lights shines and dissolve into your body, speech, and mind. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Continuously recite the mantra silently. So till now that you have visualized yourself and all the divine Buddha compassion and all the divine being throughout the whole space. Now when we recite the mantra together, visualize now your mother or your father on the right side, your mother on the left side, your families, your relatives, your siblings, and all these, even the enemies, the one you know, the one you don't know, is around the whole, just around you. Even visualize all the sentient beings from the hell realm, the hungry ghost, the animal realm, the human realm, the demigod, and the samsaric god throughout the whole, throughout the whole, space around you. Every sentient beings around you. And together with visualize surrounding the whole sentient beings of the sixth realm, visualize all the mountains and valleys and plants and trees and oceans and lakes and rivers and the sun and the moon and the planet and the whole environment around the sentient beings. And after visualizing clearly, and then when we recite the mantra together, then visualize yourself as a chanting master. And when you chant, everyone is following your lead, and then it creates the echo of the compassion mantra, and it creates the wave of an energy. The more we recite the Buddha compassion that we have visualized in front of us, it's like igniting, it's becoming more brighter and brighter, and the more light shines out from the body, speech, and mind. And then when we recite the mantra out loud together, then visualize from the body of the Buddha compassion again, the white light shines and dissolving into the body of all the sentient beings, purifying, and also together with visualize the light, the white light shines through all the divine being from the whole universe, also shining zillions of white light and dissolving into the body of all the sentient beings, including yourself, purifying the negativities of the body that is killing, stealing, and misconduct of all the sentient beings. And also this white light when it shines and dissolving into this mother natures, all the mountains and valleys, plants and trees and oceans and lakes and rivers, healing completely that whatever that because of the negative action through the body, if you have destroyed the mother nature, that completely heals everything. And then transforming into the pure, this radiant space or surrounding all the sentient beings, also transforming into radiant white body, including yourself. So visualize like that when we recite the mantra together. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani continuously recite the mantra silently. And when we recite the mantra together, the reddish light shine from the throat of Buddha compassion and from the throat of all the divine being through the whole universe. Reddish light shines and dissolving into the throat of all the sentient beings, including yourself, purifying the negativities that every sentient being is engaged through their speech, that is lying, slander, and harsh word. And also rich light shine towards all the mother nature because of our sound pollution, because of our negative action through the speech. If we have destroyed the mother nature, that completely heals everything. Anything that we hear from the mother nature, it becomes so soothing and healing and so resonating. You feel so peace even when we hear the sound from the mother nature. That is the blessings of these in the speech of the compassion. So visualize this reddish light shining and dissolving and purifying the negative speech, and also all these the negative action through the speech, that if you have to destroy the mother nature, completely heals everything. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Continuously recite the mantra silently. And again, when we recite the mantra together, then visualize from the heart of Buddha compassion, the blue light shine towards you, and from the heart of all the divine being through the whole universe, bluish light shining towards you, dissolving into all the hearts of all the sentient beings, purifying the negativities that every sentient being has engaged through their mind, which is the covetousness and intention to harm others and the wrong view. And also this bluish light shine towards this all the mother nature also. Anything because of our negative mind, that if we destroy the mother nature, that completely heals everything. Completely heals everything. So visualize like that when we recite the mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Continuously recite the mantra silently, and when we recite the mantra together, then three lights, the white, the red, and the blue light shines from the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha compassion, and also from the body, speech, and mind of all the divining, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, meditation on deity, gods and goddesses and angels. These three three lights shines towards every sentient being, dissolving into the body, speech, and mind of every sentient being, purifying the negativities of the body, speech, and mind, and receiving the blessings of the body, speech, and mind. And also these three lights shines towards all the mother natures, from the mountains and valleys, plants and trees and oceans and lakes and rivers and flowers and crops and skies and space and universe, the sun and the moon, that when it dissolves, it purify everything and restoring all the resources. If there's any kind of exhausting the resources of the Mother Earth, restoring the resources of the Mother Earth, restoring the resources of these, the water, the air, the earth, and heat and moisture, everything, and also restoring all this, like overcoming the natural disaster, all these natural disasters of the elements. Also healings, everything, like this kind of violence, and there will no bringing back like proper rains and proper crops and proper seasons and abundant, like the peace and prosperity and harmony prevail throughout the whole universe. So visualize like that, like everything become like the entourage, the paradise of the Buddha compassion. All the sentient beings of the sixth realm are becoming like the entourage of all the Buddha compassion. So everything is so prosperous, peaceful, and like peace and prosperity and harmony around the whole space or universe. Visualize like that. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 So now that we have recited the mantra together, and then visualize and healing and receiving of the blessings and purifications, now that when we want to stop meditations, now when we recite the mantra together, visualize all the mountains and valleys and plants and trees and oceans and like space, everything that you visualize around the whole sentient beings of the sixth realm slowly dissolve into rays of light. All these mother natures, everything dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into every sentient beings around you. Visualize everything dissolve into all the sentient beings around you. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And again, we like continuously recite the mantra silently, and when we recite the mantra together, then visualize all the hell being or the hell realm slowly dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into the hungry ghost realm. And also hungry ghost realm also slowly dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into the animal realm. And all the animal realm slowly dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into the human realm. Visualize like that. Om mane padme hum, 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 Om mane padme hum. Continuously recite the mantra silently, and when we recite the mantra, now visualize all the human realm, including your father and mother, your relatives and friends and enemies, and all the human realm dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into the demigod realm. And demigod realm also slowly dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into the samsari god realm. And all the samsaric god realm also slowly dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into you. Everything dissolve into you. Om mane padme hum, 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 Om mane padme hum. Continuously recite the mantra silently. Now you in the middle of the whole space, in front of you in the forehead level is with the compassion, with one face and four arms, shining brilliantly with fully ornamented and then precious jewels. And then throughout the whole universe is like all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, meditational deity, the gods and goddesses and angels shining like a zillions of stars throughout the whole universe. So when we recite the mantra together, then visualize all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and meditational deity, gods and goddesses and angels are all dissolving into rays of light, and everything dissolve into the Buddha of compassion in front of you. All these divine beings slowly dissolve into rays of light and dissolving into the Buddha of compassion in front of you. Om mane padme hum, 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 Om mane padme hum. Continuously recite the mantra silently. Now when we recite the mantra together, now you and the Buddha compassion are the only one in the whole dark blue space of universe. So when we recite the mantra, even this Buddha compassion in front of you, also slowly visualize the lotus flower, eventually dissolve into rays of light, dissolve into the moon cushions. Moon cushion also dissolve into rays of light and dissolve into the Buddha compassion. And Buddha compassion also slowly dissolve, like shrinking, becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually transform into the radiant white light, almost an inch right in front of you, almost at forehead level. The length is roughly the length of your own body in front of you, shining brilliantly in the middle of the dark blue space in front of you. Visualize like that. Om Mane Padme Hum, 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 Om Mane Padme Hum. Continue to recite the mantra silently. And when we recite the mantra together, then visualize this radiant white light in the middle of the dark blue space in front of you, which is, if you see clearly, that is the seeds of the Buddha compassion called tree. If you look it overall, it's a radiant white light. So when we recite the mantra together, then visualize this radiant white light is coming towards you and landing right on top of your crown and entering right through your central chakras. It goes down and down through your throat chakras, and then landing and then dissolving into your heart, where even in your heart also there's a radiant white light, which is your own mind in the form of radiant white light. When it dissolves, it merges into this your heart. It dissolves and becoming one, inseparable, and the one with the mind of yourself and the Buddha compassion. And feel that the moment it joins, and at the end you feel the divine pride and rejoice. This is my mind in the form of the mind of Buddha compassion. Visualize like that at the end of recitation. Om Mane Padme Hum, 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 Om Mane Padme Hum. Continuously recite the mantra silently. Now when we recite the mantra together, so you in a radiant white body, and then in the heart is the radiant white light, which is the seeds of Buddha compassion. You can consider as my mind represent the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and meditational deity, gods and goddesses, and Buddha compassion of the whole universe in my heart. This is my mind to represent everything. And then when we recite the mantra together, then surrounding this radiant white light, visualize this 6-syllable mantra is rotating clockwise. Om Mane Padme Hum. And then when we recite, even this mantra, when it rotates, it like emanates a lights, shining, becoming more brighter and brighter, shining away, all the problems, sickness and disease of your body, speech and mind, all, and healing and purifying the negativities of body, speech and mind, becoming more brighter and brighter. And then when we recite the 21st mantra, and then normally till now we have recited the 6 syllable mantra Om Ma Ne Pe Me Hum. So when we recite the last one, adding the extra one word which is called Shri. So when we recite the last word, when we will recite the mantra, last mantra slowly, and when we add the last one, we have to shout aloud Shri, like that. The moment when we recite, this 6 syllable mantra is dissolving into one another and one after another to like Om dissolve, Ma dissolve, Ne, Me dissolve, Pe, Me dissolve, Hum dissolve, Ri. So the moment this Om Mani Padme 6 syllables slowly dissolve into each other, and finally the last mantra dissolve into Ri, and then Ri, when we shout aloud, this radiant white light in the center of your heart suddenly bursts into thousands of pieces and shining away towards all the directions, and also your body also shines away together, leaving nothing but completely merged into the emptiness called the dark blue space of emptiness, without any form, without any consciousness, nothing but dark blue space, and try to stay there in the glimpse of this emptiness for some time and feel that the bliss. That is the final achievement called the Dharma body, the truth body, or the Dharma body, or Dharma Kaya body. Visualize that I have truly received the blessings to achieve the truth body. Om Mane Padme Hum, 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 Om Mane Padme Hum. Pray. And then slowly in the middle of the dark blue space, again visualize from each and every directions, thousands of small glimpses of lights are shining and gathering in the middle of the dark blue space and creating this radiant white light from every directions, thousands and thousands of small glimpses of light and shining and creating that radiant white light in the middle of the dark blue space. And that is the seeds of the Buddha compassion called Hri. And after visualizing this radiant white light in the middle of the dark blue space, and then slowly again visualize surrounding this radiant white light, and surrounding this white light you are trying to manifest yourself into the normal form, and then this radiant white light is in the center of your heart, because you're manifesting yourself into the normal form surrounding this radiant white light. and this white light will be in the center of your heart. And after manifesting yourself into the normal form, and this radiant white light is in the center of your heart, and then you feel that this is my mind, the mind of the Buddha compassion, inseparable from my own mind, and I will honor and feel the divine pride and rejoice. This is my mind. So now that after visualizing like that, then you dedicate immediately before this delusion arises. So when I recite the prayers, you visualize like that, the practice that I have done by practicing the Buddha compassion, the amount of merit that I have accumulated by meditating, become true causes and condition to help me to achieve the full enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings. May this practice, by achieving the merit, by practicing this Buddha compassion, always free every sentient beings from their suffering and actually lead everyone to the ultimate happiness of realization. May this practice always benefit all sentient beings, and then Mother Nature to heal this Mother Nature, to bring peace and prosperity to this Mother Nature. May this always overcome the violence and disasters and all this. May this practice always restore the resources of the Mother Earth and Mother Nature's. May this practice always bring proper rains and proper crops and proper seasons. So the peace and prosperity and harmony throughout the whole world. So visualize like that when I recite the prayers of dedications. Lama kum sabo la sangwa de tine darshin ge ba la sangwa de lama danjo me ba jinge lo pende ju ne je bo temba iri ne ba da temba zibe ki bu na ko ze ge ze ten ju je chema jimbo do ne dung ya sim ne dar ge je ke ba jo sa me zo chi zen de ju shu ju che cha se wa dang ju ju sha ba dang ju so yi ra ge je so wa yi ke wa chun se da ge chi sa ba dam jen zo be jang ju jen bo ro yi ngo Oyo Tajo Lama Namge Tashi Sho, Idam Lazo Namge Tashi Sho, Madam Kano Namge Tashi Sho, Jishon Sukma Namge Tashi Sho, Minjo Lama Kwe Tashi Sho, Yanlam Rujo Sumge Tashi Sho, Tato Dumme Tuge Tashi Sho, Gewe Poson Tuge Tashi Sho, Nede Nyamon Tele Sendele Nyamon Kwe Antele Shi, Nise Tato Tele Be Konjo Sumge Tashi Sho, Gewade Nyutuda Cherezig Chamaleba, Tesala Gobara, Sho, Janjo Sumjo Rumbo, Chemake Panam Kejuji, Kyawanyam Pamya Kone Kondo Bewasho, Tato Rumbo, Chemake Panam Kejuji, Kyawanyam Pamya Kone Kondo Bewara, Sho, Gyawadi, Yuda Lama Sanje Dujane, Chichamaleba, Tesala Gobara, Sho. Okay.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
So this is the shortest way of doing practice.